Hey everyone, Alex back again with another video. I know, so soon after my last one, and I did promise, or at least I did say, another video was coming. Basically, this is everything I've picked up since the last time I made a vinyl collection video that wasn't, or a vinyl collection update, excuse me, that wasn't record store day or my birthday haul, which was the last video I did. So this is everything I've picked up in like before I made those two videos, and a couple of these I believe after record store day, like one or two, but not many. But most of these pretty good stuff here. So let's get into this. Kicking it off, of course, with some new vinyl. I got a couple of 2025 releases here. First one being Creedence Clearwater Revival. Sorry that lack of intro as well, by the way, guys. I have a lot to get through. But yeah, this is the 2025 reissue of this. So this is the one where all 7 of their studio albums came out at the same time. And they were all pressed on a different coloured vinyl. This one is on blue, which is a really nice blue. Really works with the cover, like matches it really well. And I do really like Creedence Clearwater Revival, and sadly I had none of their albums. These reissues work really well for me as well, because every time I find their albums they are beat. They're beat, so it's really hard for me to get hold of Creedence Clearwater Revival, so these reissues are really good. I do have the other 6 in reserve at my local record store, so I'm hoping to pick those up soon. But this is sort of the first one I picked up. I thought I'll start at the beginning and work my way around, and I was supposed to pick up one every month, and just other things have come out, or I've seen other stuff I've wanted to pick up since, so haven't got around to picking those up yet. But this one sounds really good, so if you just want a good affordable pressing of all the Creedence Clearwater Revival albums, providing they all sound like that, then you're in there. That one sounds really good, so I'll recommend them. Obviously this is providing all of them sound the same, which I'm guessing they do, but that one sounds really good, so happy to have that. Next 2025 release I picked up is this reissue of Beats, Rhymes and Life by A Tribe Called Quest, their 4th studio album, originally from 1996. Yeah. Out of their first 4 albums, I'm now only missing 1 from my collection, and it's their debut. And I didn't realise this until I was sort of examining the cover closer, but there's like an homage to their previous albums all throughout this album cover. If you look at the clock tower, it has the word Marauders on it, but the clock also is saying it's 12 o'clock, so that, or midnight, so Midnight Marauders. This robot here is same design color pattern as the one that's on the front of Low End Theory, and on the back cover is loads of the same creature following a road or a path to Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhyme. So really unique, and I never noticed that before with this, but maybe it's just me looking into it too much. That might not be what they intended, but really good, and good sounding pressing as well. My discs on mine are a tiny bit warped, which is what you get from sealed vinyl, but again, not moaning too much because they still play all the way through, no skips or anything like that. And it's also what you get when you don't print them on 180 gram vinyl. They sound great, the vinyl sounds great, it's just the vinyl's not 180 gram, and they just come in plain white sleeves. Like, there's nothing else to them, so if you want them, definitely pick them up if you need them for the collection, but otherwise I wouldn't get too overly hyped about them. Anyway, Lewis Capaldi, Broken by Desire to be Heavenly Sent. When I made the video, it was my favourite album of 2023. It has since dropped to my second favourite album of 2023, but still a really, really good one. I am a big fan of Lewis Capaldi, so anytime we've got something new out, I'll give it a listen. And this one really did intrigue me, and yeah, just super, super stoked to finally own a copy of this on vinyl. I do want his first album as well, which I'll pick up at some point. But I got a really good deal on this one on Amazon. I think it dropped to like £12, so I had to grab it, which was really, really nice. Another album that was high on my wants list that I never picked up before but really wanted to grab. My hip hop fans probably know this one. This is Denzel Curry with his album Taboo, his 2018 release. Yeah, 2018 release, Taboo. My personal favourite album from him, and this was actually my introduction album to him as well. This is the 2023 reissue. Basically the website that stock his the label website restocked on some of his reissues, so I decided to nab one, and I didn't have this one yet, so decided to grab this. And this is on the, it comes up silver on vinyl on here, but it's supposed to be white. It's more of a silvery grey kind of marbly colour, but I think it suits the aesthetic of the album and really goes with the cover yet again. So yeah, another one that I've had on my wants list for quite some time, never picked it up, but finally bit the bullet on it. So there's that one. And another one that I think this came out in 2024. Yeah, and I picked this up because a lot of these songs I've been DJing with throughout the past 12 months since they came out, and so a lot of them have sort of got stuck in my head at more points in time, or they've just clicked with me over time as I've been playing them more. And that's the album Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. Now I know she's not for everybody, I get that, and I know that she's probably not for everyone here in the vinyl community, but as I said, I DJ with these songs quite a bit in my gigs, so of course I'm gonna pick this album up and just have it here to listen to when I'm in the mood to listen to it. Another one on blue vinyl, really good. Actually a decent album. It's grown on me a lot since its initial release. It's my first initial listen all the way through. It's definitely grown on me, so happy to have that one in the collection. And yeah, it won't be one I go to too often, but again, just one of them that I had to pick up because it was there, it was discounted, I got a good price on it. What more can you say? I have a couple more new ones. I say new albums, they were sealed when I initially found them. From a trip I made to my old workplace, the record shop I used to work in. Popped in, said hello, and you know, you guys know me. I buy vinyl when I'm in a record shop. I can't help it. So one of the first things I saw when I walked in, this was just on the wall, brand new sealed, was a copy of Mama's Gun by Erykah Badu, which I always go back and forth between this and Baduizm as to which one's my favourite album from her. But I really like this album, originally from 2000, I believe. Yeah, this is the 2016 reissue. Yeah, fantastic album from her. Love that one. So happy to get that. Again, sealed when I got it, so no surprises there. And another one I picked up, an artist I've recently come back and rediscovered a lot more since his new album dropped late last year, and that's Leon Bridges. This is the indie exclusive cover, so the cover is slightly different. Very, very glossy, but actually a really good album. I forgot how much I liked this album when it came out originally. It was very, at the time I thought it was very mainstream, because he was making a name for himself around the time, and I think he sort of jumped on the bandwagon of making poppy sounding soul. But going back and re-listening to it, it's a better album than I remember. So here's to adding another Leon Bridges album to the collection, and I really want his first album, and I do want his latest release as well, because I really like that one. But they're not the only two that I picked up from the store. No. I had a dig in the jazz section, found a copy of Reed Seed by Grover Washington Jr. American pressing. This is one of his albums on Motown. But yeah, really happy with this one. Incredible stuff. And also has a link to another artist I showed earlier, because this album was sampled by Tribe Called Quest, and I think it was for, I don't remember it was the last track on here, Lorraine's Dance, and I'm pretty sure they took the drum beat from that for a track on Low End Fury. I can't remember which track it is, but I'm pretty sure that's the link there. I'm pretty sure it's Low End Fury. Next, I went into the soul section, because you guys know me, I can't have a dig without going through the soul section. And here's a 12-inch single for Miracle Worker by Fair Circle. One of my favourite songs from them. I used to have the album, obviously purged that when I did my big purge over almost 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago now. But yeah, this one's on the EMI America label. But yeah, really happy to have that in the collection. Some more Fair Circle. Would love to pick up some more, so we'll see where we go from there. And in typical fashion, I also picked up another one from the soul section, an album this time, Born to Sing by En Vogue. US pressing again, on Atlantic this time, from original 1990 pressing. Never seen a copy of this album in person, so snatched that up without even second guessing it. It was like, I think it was the first one I grabbed after the Erykah Badu, like, because the Leon Bridges was like the last thing I grabbed on the way out. But yeah, that's everything I grabbed from there. Now we've got a few things from the record store in town. Basically, he's got a second room in his store, and it's full of collections he's bought over the years and stuff, and collections that were bought by the previous owner before he took it over. So he's sort of going through everything, cleaning it, grading it, pricing it, putting it out. So I found two from his Resurrected from the Vault, what he's calling the Vault, Resurrected from the Vault bin, which I found, and I picked two of these up. This is a copy of Stop Making Sense, original 84 pressing, I believe, from memory. A little bit of water damage on the cover, but the vinyl is immaculate, so really happy to add that to the collection. I've wanted a copy of Stop Making Sense for a while, and I can't justify spending the money for the reissue. I know it's a 2 LP, and I think it's the full concert, but this one I mainly wanted for the live version of Psycho Killer that opens this one. If you're familiar with this, you know that Psycho Killer on here is very different to the album version of Psycho Killer. They've sort of made it a bit more dancey in a way. But yeah, really happy to grab that one. And then an album I've been hunting for quite some time. This is Juicy Fruit by M2Me. Original UK pressing there. Really good. Really stoked about that one. One more thing I'm going to show, and this is, when you look at it, your heart's probably going to skip a beat, because this is how I originally, if you remember, I think it was January or February in 2024, for those of you who have been around since then. I got a collection off a mutual friend, a friend of a friend, um, who actually only lives around the corner from where I live now. Um, they were giving away a bag, it was only a small collection. I think it was about 30, 35 records or something like that. Maybe. But they were just giving them away, and they said to me, if you want them, you can have them. And this one was in the stack, and originally I was heartbroken. I was like, oh no, I can't believe it. Because it needed a really good clean. The facilities I have here aren't very good, so I said to my friend who runs the store, I said, if I give this to you, are you able to give it a clean? He said, I'll see what I can do. And lo and behold, he took it, he gave it a clean, but the cover is exactly how it was when I got it. It is a bit sun bleached, and that's a copy of the first Rolling Stones album. I know, I don't know if there's a way of fixing this, probably not. And again, the vinyl, I just put it at about a VG after cleaning it. And I'm storing it like this. I don't normally store my records like this, but he has taped the sleeve shut, and it's a little bit tight to fit it in there. And I don't want to cause any more damage to this, because it is, although not an original pressing, it is an early pressing, an early 64 pressing of this. So it's a first year press, which I'm over the moon to own it, of course, being a fan of the Rolling Stones. Just a shame it's not in better shape. But can't be choosy. It was free, it needed a bit of work, but we persevered, we done it, and there it is for the collection. So the next few things I'm going to show you are all online purchases, and then we get to the charity shop stuff. So let's get on to this. Some of these are from Vinted, some of these are from Discogs, a lot of these are from Facebook. Actually, one's from Vinted, one's from Discogs, and the rest are from Facebook. So the one that I found on Vinted, Christopher Cross, self-titled album. I've been missing having a copy of this in the collection. I can't tell you the amount of times I've gone to pull this out and then remembered it's one of the albums I purged. Nearly broke me, so I'm really happy that I found a copy of this. And ironically, after finding a copy of this on Vintage, I find a copy in a charity shop for a tiny bit cheaper than what I paid for it on Vinted. Now granted, the condition wasn't as nice as this one is, but still, if I'd just hold out a couple more days, I could have got it a little bit cheaper. But again, we all know this album, Ride Like the Wind, Sailing, a yacht rock classic, if you will. One I bought from Discogs, one that I sort of discovered, wanted, and decided to finally pick it up, is Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble with Texas Flood. I was on a Stevie Ray Vaughan kick at the time I purchased this, and I do want some more of his stuff on vinyl. Again, he's one of them, I never see it in person, so buying it on Discogs, I don't mind paying a tiny bit extra just to add something to the collection that I finally have wanted for quite some time. Next up, I've got the rest of these are all from Facebook, 4 from one seller and 2 from another. So we're going to get to this. One guy, the 4 I'm going to show you, the first 4, all from a guy on Facebook who sort of has his own record selling business. So he had a sale of stuff. It was like £3 each, and I saw 2 12 inches I decided to take a gamble on. First one being Mobb Deep. This is the 12-inch for Quiet Storm, but this has the remix with Lil Kim on it, which is my favourite version of Quiet Storm by Mobb Deep. So over the moon to grab that one. And then we have the Reflection Eternal. This is the Blast by Talib Kweli and Hi-Tech. Also has Down for the Count and Train of Thought on the B side as well. All have instrumentals on this, so happy to grab that one. Really liked the tracks I heard on there, so that was fun. And then two more that I also purchased around the same time, or actually a little bit before I purchased those actually. One I've had my arm for quite some time, the expanded edition of the Slim Shady LP by Eminem, which has an extra disc of B-sides, um, radio versions, instrumental versions. There's a couple acapellas on here as well, of some tracks, but which I mainly bought it for the acapella, if you can see it, on side E, Greg, which originally was I think a freestyle he did on the radio when he was still new on the scene. It's one of my favourite freestyles from him, so had to grab that. So I wanted it on vinyl, had to grab that. But yeah, still a really, really good album from him. And at the same time I bought that, I also bought a copy of the Marshall Mathers LP, being that it's the first Eminem album I listened to from start to finish. It was my introduction to hip hop music. It's my second favourite album of all time. And I, for some reason, thought it'd be really easy to get a copy of this back in the collection. And lo and behold, 18 months later, it's finally back in my hands. But yeah, really happy to own both of those for the hip hop collection, hip hop and Eminem collection, because I'm a big Eminem fan. So even if there's an album from him I don't like, I'm probably going to pick it up at some point. It might be the last one I grab, but we'll see. And then these next two I saw on a Facebook ad, and I said, are you okay to post them to me? Because I can't get over there really, and they were happy to. I said I'll pay postage, they were happy to ship them to me. First one actually, this was the second one I saw. Yeah, I have talked about this band before, in the sense that I haven't liked them, but in recent years they've put out a couple of projects that I've actually really enjoyed. So this is Nonagon Infinity by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I went back, re-listened to this when I saw the advert, and actually really enjoyed this album. So I thought, yeah, I'll add that to my collection. What could go wrong? So yeah, I'll probably grab a couple more King Gizzard albums as time goes on, if one clicks with me. There's a couple out there I wish I could add to the collection, but they've shot up in value since. But I'm happy to have a copy of Nonagon Infinity in the collection. And this one was the first one I saw in the advert, and the one that made me contact the seller online. This is Run the Jewels with Run the Jewels 3. This is the gold vinyl edition. I'll get it out to show you in a second here. But again, really big fan. Became a bigger fan of theirs in 2020 when they put out Run the Jewels 4. I don't even know if they're going to do a Run the Jewels 5 at this point. There's the gold vinyl. But even if they don't, I'm not moaning, but I do want their first two albums on vinyl as well, just because they all four of their albums are really consistently good. And you know, they're both artists in their own right. I mean, Killer Mike is, and then you've got LP, the producer, on this as well. But this might even be my favourite project from them, because you've got tracks on here. One's got Danny Brown on it, which I really like. I think Danny Brown's a great rapper, very underrated rapper in my opinion. And then there's a track on here that also has Kamasi Washington on it. So really happy to grab that and add that to the collection finally. And now I just need to run the first two albums from them, and I'll be complete on Run the Jewels. Unless they potentially put out a fifth album, I don't know if they're going to. There's been no words of them putting out a fifth album, but we'll see how we get on. Right, everything else I'm going to show you is all from charity shops around town and stuff, all different ones. So yeah, let's get into these. Starting off with A Swingin' Affair, Frank Sinatra. Super clean copy, happy to grab that. I am a Sinatra fan, so gonna add that to my collection, of course. Close to You, Carpenters. Another one, just love their stuff. So, and that one's a very welcome addition to the collection, especially having two big hits from them on it with We've Only Just Begun and Close to You. Really good stuff there. Now this album, some of you may know, but you might not recognise the cover. This is Metamorphosis by Iron Butterfly. Now this is a French copy, and I think this is the French cover of this. I'd never seen this cover before either, which is why I originally didn't recognise the album. But after listening to it, I was like, oh no, I do know this album. So grabbed that one. Paid a little bit more for that in the charity shop because it's obviously Iron Butterfly, bit rare. I probably wouldn't see it ordinarily in a charity shop, but either way I've got it now. Love Zone Billy Ocean. One I thought would be a lot easier to find, but again, since my purge, there's a lot of stuff I got rid of because I thought, oh, I'll be able to get that again like really easily, and they've just eluded me. So, but finally got that back in the collection. Next one, not in the best condition, but playable. This is the Monkees with Meet the Monkees. Am I a huge Monkees fan? No, but they are one of them bands when I find them cheap and in decent-ish shape, I'm going to pick them up. So really happy to have that one. This one was a surprise for me. This one I sort of knew-ish. Their first album, I didn't know this one, so I listened to a little bit online. Really dug what I heard. This is the Kate Bros with In One Eye and Out the Other. Blue, kind of soul-y rock, bit of bluesy at times, but really good album from them actually. I enjoyed listening to this one, and they're always cheap albums as well. You always find Kate Bros relatively cheap here, around when you do see them. Their albums are never always in cheap bins, and I've always overlooked them, but yeah, decided to give that one a listen to and really enjoyed it, so picked it up. And the last thing I'm going to show you, my last charity shop find of the day, or of this video, excuse me, is Gladys Knight and the Pips with 2nd anniversary American pressing on Buddha Records again. You can see it's got an distributed by RCA sticker here, things like that, but don't normally bother me. But yeah, a super clean copy of this. Well, vinyl was super clean at least. Obviously ringwear on the cover, but that kind of stuff usually don't bother me. As long as the cover's in decent shape, as long as it's got a cover, I'm all happy. But yeah, so Gladys Knight and the Pips, 2nd anniversary. Had some of their singles, didn't have any of their albums anymore, so was really happy to get that one at a good price in the charity shop. And yeah, that is everything I have to show you. I know this is my longest video in quite some time. But I kind of wanted to get everything done in one video so I could just file it all away and sort of start packing the collection away for the move. Now obviously I don't know where we're moving to yet. Nothing's set in stone, nothing's confirmed yet. But obviously I just want to make sure we're set so when we do find somewhere we can just grab everything and go, sort of thing. But anyway, I'm digressing once again. This will be, however, my last video until we move. So whenever that may be, I don't know. But for now, 100% my last video until we move. So guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video. Really hope you enjoyed. Sorry again that this is a really long video for you. I appreciate if you've stuck all the way through. I also appreciate it if you've watched a little bit and come back again later. All good with me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye.